This is a video I have been excited to make all year. So last year I made a video where I rated every movie I saw, and today I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing, except instead of giving the movie star ratings, I'm just going to be ranking them worst to best. And starting off with the worst movie I saw last year, Fred 2, Night of the Living Fred. Absolutely atrocious. I don't even know if you can count this as a movie. It is so terrible. It is so dull. Such a fall from grace from the first Fred movie. Terrible, worst movie I saw last year. Then up immediately next, we have Fred 3. I mean, this one can probably stand on its own 2 feet as a movie. It's not a good movie, but at least it's sort of like a movie. Fred 2 was not a movie. Fred 3 is kind of a movie. Then up immediately next, we have Smosh the movie. Are you seeing a theme here? It was just so boring. The only redeemable thing about Smosh the movie was that it wasn't a Fred movie. Then up next, we have Aeroplane owned by Logan Paul. I mean, it was okay. It's fourth bottom on my list. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't very good. But it was a whole lot better than Smosh the movie, Fred 3 and Fred 2. Like, there is a big gap between there. Next we have Guns Akimbo. It was like, it's got like Harry Potter in it. I thought it'd be alright. I thought it'd be an easy watch. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I thought it was a bit boring. Then up next, I don't know, a lot of people are probably gonna have a moan at me. The Shining. I think it's shite. I just didn't like it. I really didn't like it. The ending, I just didn't like. Like, oh, I'm in the painting. I'm a part of the hotel now. Shite. Then we have The Whale. Again, I think it's just one of those movies that just ain't for me. It just wasn't for me. I just really didn't like it. And it was one I was really looking forward to because I kept seeing that one picture of Brendan Fraser. You know the one. But no, it was terrible and depressing. I don't know what I expected going into The Whale. Then we got This Is the End. It's just like a shite American comedy, quite boring. Then we got Late in America, KSI, and Casper Lee's movie. It's alright. It's good for a YouTuber movie. Then we got Vivarium. Vivarium started off really good. It's a really interesting premise. This couple go looking at a house and they get stuck in this neighborhood where all the houses look the same and they can't escape. But every time they try and escape, they just end up back at the house. Really interesting premise, just ended up being quite uninteresting in the end. Like, I think it's supposed to be a metaphor for the housing market or something really boring like that. And then and then we have Fred the movie. So every movie I've mentioned so far is worse than Fred the movie. The Shining, The Whale, Vivarium, Guns Akimbo, they're all worse than Fred the movie, I think. I think Fred the movie is a better movie than The Shining. Fuck it, have a go at me in the comments if you like. I don't care. Then we got Spotlight. It's the movie about exposing the Catholic Church. I don't know. I feel so. It's just one of those movies that isn't for me. I found it a little bit boring. Then we got The Swan, which was like a short... This isn't really a movie, I guess, but I'm still putting it on here. It's a short movie that they put on Netflix. It's a Wes Anderson adaptation of a Roald Dahl short story. Really good. And the next one, Poison, on the list. That one's slightly better than The Swan, I think. But yeah, those Wes Anderson adaptations of Roald Dahl short stories on Netflix are must-watches. I know they're so low down on the list, but I feel as though that's just because they're so short. They have a lot less substance than a lot of the ones above. And we got the Blair Witch Project. Like, I mean, the ending is banging of that movie. It's just... like, it is quite boring in the lead up. We got Human Traffic, which is probably the most painfully British movie I've ever seen in my life. And we got 12 Angry Men. Again, I just didn't like this movie. I just didn't. I know it's one of the highest rated movies ever and one of the most critically acclaimed. I just didn't like it. I found it quite disappointing at the end. I think it's because we didn't get to see, like, the guy being delivered his verdict at the end of the movie. I feel as though that would have been a much better ending than them all just walking out of the courthouse. It's a fine movie. I can see why, like, people like it. I can't see why it's one of the highest rated movies of all time, though. Maybe I'm just stupid. Then we got the Deathly Hallows Part 1. The weakest Harry Potter movie, I think. Then we got Pretty Woman. Like, it's a decent movie for what it is. It's just like a rom-com. Then we got Order of the Phoenix, slightly better than Deathly Hallows. Zoolander, Gone Baby Gone, The Holiday, which is, I mean, it's a decent movie. It's one I can see myself putting on every, like, 5 years. I feel as though at this point in the list, we're getting into the movies that I thought were pretty good. We got Air, good movie, perfectly fine movie. I did enjoy it. And we got Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, The Little Mermaid, the 1989 animated one. I'm not watching that live action Disney shite. The proper old school Little Mermaid, Super Mario Bros movie. That movie I thought it was good. The only thing that ruined it for me was a bunch of millennials sitting next to me loudly making jokes about everything. And a lot of the time, they wouldn't even make jokes. They'd just go, green shell, Ow! Goomba! They just point at things and loudly say what they were. Then we got Tropic Thunder, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I know some people might be a bit mad at me for having that one so low. I mean, it's a good movie. As I said, this is the pretty good section of the list. Then we got Speed. I quite liked Speed. I go on a bus and there's a bomb on the bus. If the bus stops and the bus explodes, good movie, enjoyed it. Asteroid City, yeah, enjoyable movie. A little bit boring at times, but ultimately an enjoyable movie. Very pretty. I like the aesthetic of it. And we got Paddington. It's a nice little heartwarming movie. And then we got The Black Phone. Not a very heartwarming movie. We got Now You See Me 2, The Philosopher's Stone. A decent Harry Potter movie, but definitely not the best one. And we got The Goblet of Fire straight up next. Slightly better than Philosopher's Stone, as you can tell, because it's higher on the list. And we got Nope. I thought Nope was a decent movie. I thought it was really good, actually. Well, not really good, because it's not higher on the list, but it was good. It was an enjoyable watch. I was skeptical about watching it, because I watched Get Out. I really like Get Out. But then Jordan Peele's other movie, I can't remember what it was called. Was it like Mama or something like that? What was it called? It was called so I thought it was Shy. Well, not Shy, but Us. It was Us. I don't think it was Shy. I just didn't think it was anywhere near as good as Get Out, but this one was good. It wasn't as good as Get Out, but it was still decent. Then we got Football Factory. I love it because it relates to my life. I'm always out there keeping it lemon on away days. Then we got The Hunger Games, a classic, not really a classic. It came out about a decade ago, but a good movie. Then we got Oppenheimer. I know people are gonna be mad at me for not having this higher. At points it was boring. Okay, at points it was really boring, and people are probably gonna have a go at me, be like, "Oh, you just have a short attention span. You just have TikTok attention span." Yes. Well, no, not really. I can sit down and watch a 3-hour-long movie. But it's just at points in this, it was just boring and it was confusing. Like, all the scientist blokes looked the same. And then they'd be referring to one of them. And I'd be like, which fucking one is it? They're all the same bloke. Oh, a decent movie, though. We've got Fantastic Mr. Fox. I like it. It's heartwarming. Banshees of Inisherin. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, good movie. Then we got X. I liked this one. I'm not really normally a fan of horror movies. I normally think they're a bit, like, shit and boring for the most part. But X, I thought was really, really good. We got The Chamber of Secrets. As you can tell, I did a bit of a Harry Potter marathon this year. I just decided to go through and watch all the films. Yeah, Chamber of Secrets. Well, I tell you what, I actually watched all these movies with someone who didn't know what happened anyway. They didn't know Dumbledore died. They didn't know Dobby died. They didn't know Voldemort died. They knew nothing about Harry Potter. So it was really fun watching it with someone who just had absolutely no clue. We got Triangle of Sadness. I like this movie a lot. I like Triangle of Sadness a lot. It was good fun. Then we got Now You See Me. I do really like Now You See Me. I think it's a really great movie. And then we got Bull, which I think it was a Netflix film. Like, I feel as though every now and then Netflix will make like one half decent movie, but I've noticed this. Like, if you go on Prime, they're just making so many much better movies. Like, they made Saltburn. There was another one they made, but I can't remember what it was because they own MGM now. But yeah, they've been making some bangers, but Netflix has just really been falling behind. Like, Netflix has the budget, but they just spend budget on like the worst movies ever. They'll spend like $200 million making the same movie every single year. But Bull, I thought it was quite... Is it a Netflix film? I'm gonna look this up so I don't look stupid. It may well not be a Netflix film. No, it isn't a Netflix film. I'm stupid. But it's on Netflix, and I thought it was quite good. I didn't really like the ending too much. I thought the ending was a bit like naff, and it was a bit of a cop out. It kind of changed the whole sort of thing. I'm not going to spoil it if you want to watch it, but I don't know. I wasn't really too big a fan of the ending, but the rest of the movie is really, really good. And we got Submarine, another great British film. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I thoroughly enjoyed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Bloody good animated movie. And we got The Half-Blood Prince, one of the better Harry Potter movies. Home Alone, classic Christmas movie. And we got A Man Called Otto. Now this is an adaptation of a book I read called A Man Called Ove. And I cried at the book and I cried at the movie. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was on a plane watching this movie and I was just tearing up. Really, really good movie. And book as well. Then we got Love Actually, a very good Christmas movie. I feel as though a lot of people hate Love Actually for some reason, but I don't know. This is my list, okay? If you don't agree with my list, you don't have to. Yes, I have Love Actually considerably above Oppenheimer. And yes, I put Fred the movie above The Shining. But this is my list. I'm allowed to do this. Don't criticize me. And then we've got The King of Comedy, a good movie. It's by Martin Scorsese. It's very good. It's kind of like Joker. It's about this guy who really wants to be a comedian, so I can't actually remember the full plot of the movie. And if I did remember it, it would probably spoil it. It's about this guy who's really desperate to get into comedy and essentially stalks this TV host. I'm pretty sure that's the premise of it. I did watch it at the beginning of the year, so I'm not sure. But all I remember is it being really good. Then we got The Fabelmans, the Steven Spielberg movie that came out this year. I enjoyed it. Very good, very fun, but not quite as good or fun as The Prisoner of Azkaban. An absolute belter of a movie and probably the best book I've ever read. Absolute belter. And then we got Home Alone 2, and I know people are going to have a go at me. Oh, you got Home Alone 2 higher than Home Alone 1? Yes. I don't know what it is. I prefer the whole hotel thing. Being a kid and being able to go to like a very expensive hotel and eat all the room service and stuff, that appeals to my inner child. I absolutely love it. Then we got La La Land, a movie I really wasn't expecting to enjoy because at the start of the movie, they kind of just break out into song. And then like a few minutes after, they do another like musical number. And I'm not into like musicals, but this is a good movie. I liked it. And we got Battle Royale, a Japanese movie about Fortnite. No, it's not about Fortnite. It is what it says. It's about a battle royale. A load of students get shoved into the woods, and last one standing wins. Then we got Nobody with Better Call Saul. It's good. I really enjoyed it. It's a really fast-paced action movie. Normally, I'm not really the biggest fan of action movies, but there was something about this one that just really appealed to me, and I really liked it. Then we have Napoleon, a movie a lot of people didn't like this year. I feel as though that's because it was historically inaccurate in places. Like there is a bit where he just fires a cannon at the pyramid, and the top of the pyramid just goes. Like obviously that didn't happen. Obviously they weren't fighting at the pyramids. I don't think, at least. I don't know. But yeah, I feel as though a lot of the criticism of this movie is just people actually-ing it. Like it's a fun movie. All right. If I wanted to learn about Napoleon, I'd watch a documentary. It's fun. I enjoyed it. Then we got Deathly Hallows Part 2, undoubtedly the best Harry Potter movie. Unlike the Deathly Hallows Part 1, which is the worst. I feel as though they should have just merged it into one 3-hour-long movie. And we got The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which is another short movie, which is another one of those Wes Anderson Roald Dahl short films. This one's about 40 minutes, I think. Or is it 20? I'm not sure. It might be like 20 minutes. It's quite short, but I feel as though this one has a lot more substance than the other ones I mentioned further down on the list because it's longer. The other ones were like 10 minutes long. Yeah, I really like this. I feel as though that's probably the best thing Netflix has put out this year. I feel as though I'm not saying a lot about these, but it's just because I don't really want to spoil them. Like, you should just take my word that when I say it's good, and you will probably enjoy it. Then we got Elvis. I liked this movie. I feel as though I've just said that for every single one. It's been, movie name. I've liked this movie. Yeah, but I did. I watched this on a plane, and it made the plane journey go like that. Oh, it was class. It's one of those movies that's like 3 hours long, but feels about an hour and a half. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's just about Elvis's life. It's a biopic about Elvis. It's good. Then we got Blackberry, which is another biopic, but it's about BlackBerry, like the company BlackBerry, the phones. It's about their rise and fall and how important they were in like the mobile phone market. Taught me a lot about BlackBerry. I didn't realize their peak was so early on. I thought it was in like 2012, 2013 when everyone in the UK had one. But no, it was much earlier on. It was like when the iPhone came out that it began to go downhill. Then we got Primal Fear, which has one of the best plot twists in history. And I know, you spoiled it. You said there's a plot twist. I went into this knowing there was a plot twist, and I still enjoyed it because there's a video on YouTube of what's his name, Edward Norton's character like peering through bars, and the title is The Biggest Plot Twist Ever or something like that. There's a video about plot twists, and he's in the thumbnail. So I knew there was going to be a big plot twist, but I didn't really expect it to be that. Then we got The Gentleman, a Guy Ritchie movie. It was. I mean, I'm a big fan of Snatch. Snatch is probably one of my top 3 movies. I also love Lockstock, and I feel as though this is like him revisiting that sort of genre. Obviously on a bit of a higher budget, and it's more glossy, but I like this a lot. Then we got Saltburn. Fantastic movie. Absolutely fantastic. And this is one I really feel as though I can't describe because it changes. Like there's loads of little twists and turns in it, and I don't want to spoil it. Just watch it. It's good. Great, even. Then we got American Made with Tom Cruise in it. It's about this guy who was a pilot and drug smuggler for Pablo Escobar. I'm not sure how based in reality it is, but it's based on a true story. Yeah, very good. Very, very good movie. Then we got There Will Be Blood. It's got the very famous scene of the guy shouting, I abandoned my child! I abandoned my boy! It's got that one, like, the one from TikTok. Yeah, it's good. It's long. It's a long movie, but it's good. We've got Eyes Wide Shut, a Stanley Kubrick movie like The Shining, but this one was far better. It's about like secret cults and that. It was good. I like the scene where he walked into the room and they were all wearing the masks, and it was all spooky and scary. I liked that. And then we got The Menu, a movie that ended up being about something that I didn't expect it to be about going in. I thought it was just about a nice restaurant. I thought it was just about a nice little restaurant, but no, it wasn't. It was not. It most certainly was not. And we got an absolute banger. I feel as though I mentioned this on my last list, but these aren't new movies I've seen. These are just movies I've watched this year. We got The Devil Wears Prada, which is banger, absolute banger. I watch this movie maybe twice a year. It's like one of my comfort movies. I absolutely love that movie. It's incredible. It's about this girl who doesn't really know anything about fashion that goes to work for like the biggest fashion magazine editor, and she's really demanding and mean and asks for the impossible, and this girl's always trying to deliver on that. Sometimes she doesn't deliver on it, sometimes she does. I just love that movie. Then we got Across the Spider-Verse. Didn't think this one was as good as the first one, as the first Spider-Man. Oh, I can't remember what it was called. Wasn't as good as the other Spider-Man movie, but it was good. It was good. I didn't like how it left on a cliffhanger. I don't like how we have to wait for the next one, because I forget. Like, am I going to remember what happened in the Across the Spider-Verse in a year's time when the next one comes out? Probably not. I'm struggling to remember now. My memory is awful. I watched a whole episode of Peep Show today that I watched yesterday, and I totally forgot. And now we're in the prestigious top 5 of movies I've seen this year. And at number 5, you're probably questioning where this movie is, because it was the biggest movie of the year, Barbie. Barbie at number 5. Love Barbie. Excellent. Just very fun, light-hearted, and sad at times. It brought out some emotions in me. Absolutely brilliant movie, clear of Oppenheimer. Then we got Scarface. This is the first time I've seen Scarface this year. Excellent movie. It did make me confused as to why so many people, like, you know, idolize, I can't remember what's his name, Mr. Scarface. I'll call him Mr. Scarface. Can't remember his name. What is his name? This is very bad of me. This is my number 4 spot, and I don't even know his name. Tony Montana. Yes, Tony Montana. That's him. That's the geese. I can't believe how many people idolize him as like someone to look up to. I guess people look up to people like fucking Patrick Bateman and the Joker, so I shouldn't be surprised. But this guy has absolutely no redeeming qualities at all. Like, he is just a baby man-child. He's just a man-child. There's nothing redeeming about him. He's annoying as fuck. Yeah. Unbelievable movie. Then we got Prisoners. Oh, I loved Prisoners. Oh, it's another one where you just don't know where it's going. Is it going to turn left or is it going to turn right? Brilliant. Love it. Very deserving of that number 3 spot. And then at number 2, this is my favourite new movie to come out this year. But like the favourite, I think it came out in late 2022, but I saw it early 2023. And that is Babylon. Oh my days, this movie is underrated. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think it's the best, what's his name? Damien Chazelle. Best Damien Chazelle movie other than Whiplash. I mean, he's only made 3. But still, I fucking love this movie. It is a very long movie and you kind of do feel it. But man, it's so good. I love it. I really do not know why so many people dislike this movie, but I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was fantastic. I think it's just the thing about looking back into the past and seeing like the wild parties that happened 100 years ago. You know, all the mental things that were going on. I know it's fiction, obviously, but things like this probably did happen. And then my favourite movie I watched last year, Arrival. Now, I watched this maybe when it first came out, like around like 2016, 2017. I'm not sure when it came out. And I feel like I didn't really appreciate it at the time. I don't know. I liked it, but I didn't love it. But man, I rewatched it this year. Oh my days. It is unbelievable. The premise is these aliens come down to Earth and they're speaking in this language which is done by like circles. It's like that. And it's up to this language expert to sort of decipher what they're saying. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm not going to spoil anything about it. Just go and watch it as soon as you can. I'm going to leave it there for this video. I hope you can take away some good movie recommendations from this list. And if you do take some recommendations, let me know what you think of them in the comments. All right, nice one. Like and subscribe in a bit.